Meeting up with deadlines is something you shouldn't joke about in the medical writing industry. It's so crucial. So whenever you have a project and you're asked to turn it in at any particular time, you should put in every effort to make sure that happens. So this video is about educating you on what you need to do to make sure that you don't miss deadlines. Most times you are given a timestamp and a deadline to turn in your projects. And if you don't have that discipline, you may find yourself not being able to meet up. And if you can't meet up, that leads to dissatisfaction and you may even lose the client completely. So remember when we talk about SMART goals, as per goals being specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Now that time-bound aspect of it is very important. So when a client gives you a job, maybe the client may say, submit this in 1 month. You already know that there are unforeseen circumstances that may come in. You have your peculiarities and the issues around you. So you should be able to look within that 1 month and check the activities, the things you already know that you have to do within that 1 month. Then you now try to determine when you have the time to write the article or work on the project. So you have to remove all the days that you know that you won't be able to run, that you won't be able to work on the project, and now check the number of days you have remaining. Now you also need to remember that for those number of days you have remaining, you have unforeseen circumstances. There are things you can't predict, just like family emergencies, sicknesses, and things, even disruptions at work, weather disruptions, power disruptions, internet disruptions. So you need to factor in all these unforeseen circumstances within the remaining days you have. And if you are given 1 month to submit turning a project, it's good to give yourself an earlier deadline. Now, considering some of these factors, your earlier deadline may be 1 week or 2 weeks, depending on what you've looked at. If you don't do it that way, you won't be able to meet up with the target at the end of the day. Then, after setting that deadline, you now look at the project you have and check the scope. So you can decide to divide it into tiny bits. Let me assume that you have an article to write. You know, writing of an article would demand literature review, then the writing of the first draft, editing, then review of the final draft, proofreading, even insertion of references. So you decide what you need to do is to break up this task into tiny bits. And now within that time frame you've given yourself, you tell yourself that on this particular day or between this day and this, I will do the literature review. Then from this day to this day, I'll do the first draft. So when you break it up into tiny bits, it gives you the opportunity to evaluate your progress. So you're not looking at the project as a whole. You are looking at it in bits, while still looking at the final goal of completing the project. So if you learn how to do this, you won't see yourself apologizing over not meeting deadlines. Even though your apology may be accepted, but you have made an impact, you have made an impression that may be difficult to erase. So try as much as possible to meet up with deadlines by applying these principles that I just mentioned. See you in the next video. Make sure you like and subscribe and come back for more.
Please subscribe.